at least we get to do this. At least we have the opportunity to do this. And I can't say it hasn't been, we have had some rough years.
Sure.
Like, for instance, our co-founder is not with us right now because he passed away of a brain tumor during COVID, and that was my best friend. So we actually, we feel like, okay, we kind of got abandoned in this industry.
That we knew nothing of, and we kind of had to teach ourselves everything and learn from our clients.
But when we rose up during the pandemic, when we're just like, okay, we're stuck with this thing, we're self-funding the whole thing. Our main guy in restoration is not here anymore. Our buddy's gone, and we've got to learn everything. But before he passed, I remember saying, like, I think I found, like, in a weird way, say, our calling. We got to use this product to help the healthcare industry with the pandemic, because you see all these broken zippers. I'm literally seeing on Instagram and social media, like, it's like, look at this zipper we got to deal with, and like the nurses are literally complaining about it, and we're just sitting here with the answer in our hands.
We got it.
How do we get it out there in the world?
Okay, welcome to another episode with the Blueprints to Punch List podcast, healthcare edition. Today, we have two guests coming from Southern California, Kanna and Ramu Sunkara.
That's right.
With RE-U-ZIP. These guys pioneered the first ever reusable and lockable dust barrier zipper. And they're revolutionizing the self-closing magnetic entry space with their innovation that reduces consumable costs, boosts project efficiency and safety. So welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Ken, how's it going today?
It's going good. It's Friday. Not too many fires to put out today, just a few. So good day.
Awesome.
Yeah. How about you?
It's going pretty good as well. So typically what we like to do, guys, is like to ask our guests, before we jump into the meat of the show, just what is a recent win that you guys have had? And it could be a business win, family, health, just something that comes to mind in the last maybe week or two or month.
I'll let you go first.
Put me on the spot.
You talk about your kids.
Let's see. I have a 4.5-year-old daughter. Now she's flying to trade shows with us, and she actually flies fine, even 5-hour flights. So surviving that, so I guess that's a win.
That's a win. That's a big win.
Huge.
She actually is really into our magnetic entry strip and just loves doing the testing of it when we put it up. So it's like super cute. We should actually probably put out videos with her.
Like, Shirley wants to go to work with us, and she's like, Dad, can you teach me how to do this? And like, she pays close attention. And
that's a big win. Between that and the good on the plane rides, both big wins.
Yeah. First time she threw up all over my wife. My wife didn't have a change of clothes, so flight from Omaha to LA was terrible for everybody around.
I picked her up from the airport, so like I could literally smell them with the windows down. I was like, "What?
What just happened?"
That's awesome. I have a 4.5-year-old son also, so we're about to go on a trip to Europe, so it's going to be an extended flight. His first time on a flight, and so we'll see how he ends up doing.
Breaking him in, huh?
Going to Hungary, where I'm from originally, and so we're going to visit my family. He's never been since he was born because of the whole COVID situation. He's a COVID baby.
We both have COVID babies.
Yeah,
different.
You can relate. So.
Yeah, we went to France and Paris and London for Christmas, and she actually did fine. Just bring lots of new toys and introduce them along the way, and they're happy.
There you go.
That's perfect. How about you?
You can talk about the business.
Well, I don't have a kid or family or anything like that, so I'm basically kind of a workaholic. So my wins have to usually do with work.
Your kids are business. So.
Yeah, so Reusable is my baby. So I guess the recent win would be kind of a realization that we're no longer really a startup. You know, when you have something innovative and new, it's almost like you're trying to get people to pay attention. And to some degree, we still are. But there are some just key players in the market and industries that have embraced your technology, training schools, ICRA programs, and some of the top restoration companies in the country that have actually started training with our products. And they are seeing basically what our vision is that we've been trying to convey. So I guess a lot of the big wins is like the way the receptions at the trade show are unreal, where our booth is always just mobbed the entire time. We're starting to get, this is kind of feels like a big win for us. It's like, these feel like little trophies every time we land these accounts, where we have embroidered zippers that we're doing for like every major restoration company. And by one, they're all coming to us. And, you know, we have a partnership that we're very proud of is the United Brotherhood of Carpenters ICRA program. They see the value of it, and having them who are basically writing the protocols for ICRA standards and things like that, being able to work with them directly and, you know, we show some stuff that isn't even out in the market with them. So we might even share some today. Some things we solved.
Awesome.
Very cool. Well, congrats on the success that you guys have had. No, the first time we met you guys was in San Diego in 24 last year?
24, 23? Yeah, I don't know, 24 last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, for last
year.
Yeah.
PDC.
Yeah.
PDC, that's right.
Yeah.
And I mean, from that, the first time you guys showed us what you do, it just really is like, oh my God, this is a no-brainer. So
yeah, especially with the branding. I like that you guys incorporated the branding on that, because that's a clean look for companies.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. We haven't, fully launched it openly, but we can't wait till we get to that point where we're just opening it up for everyone. But, any existing clients, I know you guys just bought some.
Yeah.
So, we can put your name on the zipper.
Absolutely. No, they're great.
So let's get into it a little bit, right? So what is it that you guys do? Because you're our first really product-based company that we've had on the show. So it's we're looking forward to this conversation. But what is it that you guys do, if you can share in your own words?
Okay. I think the important thing, and a lot of it was discovered during we started with a reusable dust barrier zipper, but it grew into something much bigger, more of a movement that we're trying to create, where we're trying to bring out the point that a lot of the healthcare industries, like healthcare construction, remediation, abatement, type of industries, have been stuck using disposable zippers and products not really designed specifically for their industry. So we wanted to create something that is actually suitable for those critical environments. We've always heard about the zippers jamming, breaking, failing. We see all those pain points, and we just see there's nothing being done about any of that. They're just people just continuing saying, "Oh, I have to replace my zipper. It jammed. It broke." So we kind of, it almost seems like, well, how much more can you do with the zipper? Well, we can make it reusable. We can make the zipper higher quality when it's reusable. It's a 7 gauge versus a 5 gauge, so it's break resistant. We have our 2-layer system makes it so you don't need a special knife to create a gap. So now plastic gets held out of place from the zipper teeth, so it's jam resistant. So that's 2 of the problems solved: the breaking and the jamming, and then the separation from the poly sheeting, where we get high grade adhesive on the back of this mounting strip, so you don't have to tape up the zippers like other people are doing. So it's just like these very obvious things that we saw. It's like it's very obvious to us that this is not created for this industry.
Looks like it works.
And then, let me get. So I'm not even sure if I should go back into how it works. So like right now, the peel and stick zippers, you put on the plastic sheeting one time, and then it, single use. Here, you'll use our peel and stick loop mounting strip. So, sorry to drop that. Okay. So, the loop mounting strip will attach to the plastic sheeting. There's adhesive. So that attaches to the plastic sheeting first. And then you'll attach the zipper that has the hook side of it. And you'll open it up and cut through both. There's a cut guide right here. And so this time when you use the product, you can actually remove the zipper, throw away only the back end, which is a fraction of the cost of disposable zippers, and then keep reusing this zipper if you choose to. However, we priced it where even for single use, it makes sense. In this scenario, this is a $10 zipper, this is $4 mounting strip. But the entire point is also you have a safeguard for healthcare facilities that is probably a lot more crucial than if you're doing like painting or remodel. This zipper, if it fails, usually you can't do anything about it. Now you can actually peel off the zipper, remove it, and replace it with another zipper in the case it fails. So now you have essentially a fail-safe zipper. You have also this feature we added, which is a grommet, so you can actually put a zip tie through the grommet hole and actually lock your zipper. So that creates another safeguard.
Oh, that's great.
So we kind of started with that, and I started realizing that's a path we want to go on. We need to make products that are designed more for critical environments and viable for critical environments, because we just feel like, the healthcare industry and remodeling or restoration industries just adopted what was around and they never questioned its use.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's great. And do you guys just have the zipper option? You guys have kind of ventured out into some other options. I don't know if that's part of what you're putting out there.
No, thank you. I know I'm a little all over the place, but that actually, okay, so then the pandemic hits and we actually were looking at the zipper, but at the same time we're like, okay, what's the final pain point of the zipper? It's like no one likes the zipper, period. Like no one wants a zipper.
Right.
There's people, the doctors, nurses, contractors, if no one's looking, they leave it open. It's not maintaining the air pressure.
Yeah, we see that. I see that often. Yeah.
So the ultimate thing is, how do we make it so you don't have to use a zipper? So we came out with a magnetic version. So essentially the world's first magnetic entry strip. So it's basically the same concept, but it's magnetic. Also holds negative air pressure. The reason this is important is, when we first came out with this, people were like, so what? X, Y, and Z company already has a magnetic door. Well, a magnetic door and a magnetic zipper essentially are completely different. This can create a self-closing opening in any plastic sheeting of your choice. So it can be clear plastic, black, whatever.
Flame retardant, clear, whatever.
Mm-hmm. On the left side of your barrier, right side of the barrier, in the center. Use more than one to create magnetic flaps. And then we kind of proved that during the pandemic by essentially executing these in COVID isolation rooms in hundreds of healthcare facilities throughout the US and Canada.
Oh, wow.
And the funny thing was, it was when we first came out with the products, people were like, oh, I can't reuse a zipper. And we can't use a magnet for mold and all of this. And that helped us bring up question, okay, why? Why can't you? Mm-hmm. And so usually magnets, the magnetic products on the market would not hold high levels of negative air pressure. Mm-hmm. So we essentially solved that. You also, when contractors are building out these containments in open spaces or regular shaped hallways, it's very difficult to execute with the current products on the market.
Like a one size fit all thing. This is our product. You can customize however you like.
Oh, maybe grab that barrier. So we'll show you a lot of that experience we got actually in healthcare facilities in Canada. So we'll show you this other product we came out with. It's an ultra clear fire rated barrier panel. So you can create a high visibility doorway by using the magnet with this clear plastic sheeting. And where that became very useful was in Canadian dental facilities. During COVID, they were not allowed to operate unless they enclosed their doorways, and they were asked to use it like glass to do it. So those doors would be like hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, to enclose the doorways.
Yeah, it's not just like you put up a door and you call it fire rated. Like there's procedures and regulations and rules and regulations that go into that. So you came up with a solution to
glass doors. Some of them are like, they're quoting like $10,000 a door, and times 10 patient rooms. They weren't.
Well, from an infrastructure problem, for patient safety, they didn't have doors on dental facilities in the first place. So the door framing isn't even there.
Yep.
So then you have to have these irregular shaped containments. So we actually partnered with, some of those healthcare facilities and then restoration contractors. And we're like, hey, we have this option. You guys can get jobs, use your restoration skills and containment building skills, but use our product and then build out these doors for like, between $120 to $200 a door instead of, and that's easy work for you guys.
Yeah.
And then you save the business owner, from thousands of dollars. And usually these dental offices are owned by small business owners. So it was a huge win-win, and we were proud of the work we did there. We helped an entire segment of the industry, and then kind of started catching into the general healthcare in the U.S. Our first COVID isolation room case was in Orlando Regional Medical Center, and they had the issue where they were using the standard zippers and they could not maintain the proper air exchange because the nurses and doctors kept leaving their zippers open. And then,
and even if you leave it open just enough, now you're still, even if they close it, it's still not enough to keep that negative air pressure in the room. So that's another fail point of the standard zippers.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, especially when you don't have contractors going in and out of it. I mean, even contractors will leave it open, but now you have
contractors never leave it open. Are you kidding me? Not who do you guys work with?
Yeah.
The nurses and doctors, they're obviously just like, okay, they have bigger things to be worried about than turning back around and re-zipping the doorway. So
sounds simple, but there's something to be said to be able to just walk through. It closes behind you, walk out, closes behind you, and
it also reduces touch points,
right?
As well,
right.
Everyone's touching the same zipper yet.
Yeah.
So we also learned a couple of things from that use is these containments are already up or going up, and they actually had our zippers, but not our magnets. And they're like, but our crews are here now, so we need to put these up now. I'm like, no, I'll ship you the magnets. Go ahead and put up the zippers because our magnets work on the same mounting strip as the zipper. So you can actually peel off the zip once they arrive, just peel off the zipper, replace it with a magnet instantly. So that's another feature of our system. You can switch from lockable zipper to magnetic entry strip, like seamlessly without, having to take down your entire barrier.
Gotcha.
Or you can even put up a zipper and a magnet, put a zipper one side, magnet one side, and have dual functionality. So even if you leave the zipper open, it's self-closing.
Mm-hmm. Got it. But still,
that's how it just point. Yeah. So we started just developing it based on, okay, so now we're starting to get a more versatile system from a functional standpoint. And then it actually meets some of these, addresses a lot of these pain points that no other system does.
We've been able to, test it out a little bit at that. We're doing a project here locally. It's a pharmaceutical distribution center. So the containment of what we're doing is of utmost importance. And we have a few areas where we've got to keep negative air pressure. And it's been great. When I saw you guys out in San Diego, my first, and you guys may get this a lot, maybe not. First concern was, longevity of the magnets, and then the ability to really, can you just blow through it and it snap back together, and it's held up and it holds true. Very cool product.
Thank you. And it'll continue to get better. We already have another version we'll give you a sneak preview of. Yeah. We have two more versions, and we'll definitely do the demo. for you guys. But one major thing for healthcare facilities that they should be aware of, and Ken, I don't know if you're using this on your facilities, but the nurses and doctors were very happy with the self-closing aspect. The only other aspect that wasn't being addressed was when we push a hospital gurney through the isolation room, it drags on all this plastic. So how do you get the plastic out of the way and still have it self-closing?
Mm-hmm.
In our mind, it was obvious. We're like, oh no, we got to educate the industry. You can use more than one magnetic strip on the same barrier. Just put one on the left, one on the right, create the first ever magnetic flap door.
Mm-hmm.
So all the plastic moves out of the way. And then you can put one in the middle so that you can have a double flap door in hallways. And once we start learning all this, and we start realizing we're not just making a different product. We're like completely reinventing the entire the containment techniques. Right. We have all these advanced containment techniques, from switching from zipper to magnet, to doing the double flap doors, lockable zippers. We even had people deconning the rooms in between patients. And what they would do is fog the room, peel off the magnet, put a zipper on there, lock it for a 2-hour period. And during that cleaning procedure, they would know that at least they have some deterrent from people going in. And then they would peel the zipper back off and put the magnet back on when they're ready for the next patient.
Right.
So there are then we start seeing, we're teaching some of these skills and people are already adopting it, or they're figuring it out on their own. And so we're excited about to really get this all, dialed in and out there. And one of the best ways that we found is the healthcare industry. A lot of the healthcare shows we've been to, a lot more of you and your colleagues have embraced us more than. I'm not going to say anything bad about the other industries, but they
get stuck in their ways.
Yeah, a lot of people get, and just in general, that's human nature to kind of get stuck in your ways. And
well, it's because it's what our clients demand of us.
Yeah.
Right. So when we're doing these open patient remodels where the clinic is staying open when we're trying to remodel a portion of the facility, they cannot have these dust particles, and we got to keep it under a negative air pressure to minimize and really keep that facility at a really clean levels, while we're creating a bunch of dust with them taking things out and drywalling and sanding the drywall. So it's all these things, but how do you keep it contained? And that's one of the biggest concerns in these, like this pharmaceutical distribution center or a clinic that's open during the remodel. So it is very, very high top of mind for our clients to have the cleanliness during construction. So that's why it's a great product. But I do want to just take a step back, because we both love what you guys are doing. But how did you get here, right? So what's your background? How did this idea even come about to go and start a company that reinvents how we use zippers and construction
Yeah.
We did not even see this coming, and we didn't expect this in any real way. We're glad we're here now, but yeah, our background was commercial real estate for the past 25 years. We still kind of do it on the side. Then we got into franchising with smoothie and ice cream franchise, Planet Smoothie and Tasty Delight. We became area developers for Los Angeles for two brands. And then while doing those two things, we're also going to a spiritual psychology program for just interpersonal development, where we met a restoration contractor, and he was my really good friend. And he actually was, telling us about this idea for a reusable dust barrier zipper. And he was trying to get people to help him, and no one was really helping him, and his provisional patents and stuff were about to expire. And then we kind of stepped in to help him out. And it kind of just slowly got into it. And then we realized he needed a little bit more help. And then next thing you know, our focus is going towards this. And, the patents get rejected. And then I'm like, let me write the response. And so I ended up, writing a response for the patent and ended up getting granted. I'm like, all right, well, maybe now this can have some legs, but we were actually challenging his idea of, okay, well, if you have the zipper that comes out, you're going to piss off all these other companies that have their disposable zippers. So how do you go like 2 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead? And then next thing you know, we're like sitting there thinking through this entire system. And we had the thoughts of figuring out how to do it magnetically. So we also started becoming inventors with our buddy that like.
But where is that? But where does that even come from? Like, were you? I mean, I just take me back. Like as a kid, were you always one that was tinkering with stuff, or was this more of like a business mindset of like, how can I, solve a need in the world, or was it more of just you just like tinkering? Because it's not like we all have ideas, right? But how do you actually go, okay, I'm going to mess around with this zipper and see how I can improve it?
I guess we always liked kind of building stuff and engineering.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, I always like took things apart. Sometimes I couldn't get them back together. Most times I couldn't, but I liked taking things apart, figuring out how they work. So that I always had that bug.
Yeah.
In my mind, we're creating the Lego system of like containment, like extremely modular. And we'll show you a piece that we created that makes it even more like that. But
very cool. Very cool. Yeah, and sounds like business opportunity, right? Saw the need.
I think it was kind of just all like our experience with even the yogurt and smoothie franchise, that business experience there, even though that didn't like do as well we wanted, it gave us kind of some sort of insights from real estate, all these different facets of life, kind of like, I don't know, it just all came together and just made this something more kind of like more of a passion something we wanted to do. Like we kind of got tired of the real estate game and making other people rich. And this was just more like, what do I want to wake up and kind of like feel passionate about doing something that's different every day, not the same old mundane. So like, we don't like, if someone told us how tough this would be, we probably wouldn't have got into it. But once we got into it, there's no turning back, and we just kept going, and it became like an addiction and passion. So I'm happy to have this challenge.
Yeah. And this is more like it is like once we got this bug of like creativity, it's like, oh, we can take everything we've learned from real estate, from franchising, how to support franchisees, let's give them the support that we didn't get. We watched every single Shark Tank and just like learned everything from that. And then it just, we just got kind of caught up in the entrepreneurial drive.
Even the spiritual psychology, everything.
Even that, just almost using this as a vehicle for our own personal growth. And that's just kind of the aspect we looked at. It's like, of course there's challenges. And then, you kind of learn that it's like, okay, well, it's in those challenges that you grow as a person. So even though it gets tough, it's like, at least we get to do this. At least we have the opportunity to do this. And I can't say it hasn't been, we have had some rough years.
Sure.
Like for instance, our co-founder is not with us right now because he passed away of a brain tumor during COVID, and that was my best friend. So we actually, we feel like, okay, we kind of got abandoned in this industry
that we knew nothing of, and we kind of had to teach ourselves everything and learn from our clients.
But when we rose up during the pandemic, when we were just like, okay, we're stuck with this thing, we're self-funding the whole thing. Our main guy in restoration is not here anymore. Our buddy's gone, and we've got to learn everything. But before he passed, I remember saying, like, I think I found, like, in a weird way, say our calling. We got to use this product to help the healthcare industry with the pandemic, because you see all these broken zippers. I'm literally seeing on Instagram and social media, like, it's like, look at this zipper we got to deal with. And like the nurses are literally complaining about it. And we're just sitting here with the answer in our hands. Like, how do we get it out there in the world?
How do we communicate?
And then we went from the Canadian dental. We're like, okay, they're embracing it. All right, let's just start where we can. And then, okay, the dental industry is the ones that adopt it. And then finally from there, then it's like some healthcare. And then our buddy I think it was in Florida, sends us a message. Hey, do you guys know you're on television? I'm like, what are you talking about? And he sends me a clip of Grey's Anatomy. And apparently the entire season,
the COVID season.
COVID season, our products featured on every single episode. And then
the doctors, they're going in and out of our container. We're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. But then I was just like, that almost made me almost more upset. Like, why do actors get it? Like, we need to get this in the hands of real hospitals. And we just, and COVID was a depressing time. And it just feels like there was so much out of control. And we were just trying to focus where we can make a difference. While we're just basically sitting here. My brother's wife is pregnant. I'm sitting. We both have condos close by, so we're both just like completely isolated, hunkering down. We only visit each other, and we're just sitting here working like maniacs, trying to learn restoration industry, healthcare industry,
business fulfillment, logistics, like literally every business,
and 12 different hats. Well, that's a very, very cool story. Very, very powerful story. And, I think sometimes people look at it like, hey, it's a zipper, but it's a whole lot more than a zipper, right? It's not just about keeping the dust contained, right? It's about infection control. Yeah. It's about patient safety. It's about, the provider safety. And then, obviously second to the safety aspect is, being able to remain operational for these facilities.
Yeah. And one thing I mean, and we're learning this too, is to convey, people think reusable dust barrier zipper. Okay, I save a few bucks, but my guys throw the zipper away. Mm-hmm. It's like just for us, the challenge in learning how to change that paradigm of like the point of the zipper.
Make it out of gold.
It's not the reusable, and part of it is the name, but it's like the point is not reusability. It's reliability and the ability to it's essentially the fail safe. Mm-hmm. If it fails, you can remove and replace it.
It's because it's reusable. It has all these other features that people don't think of that make it inherently a superior product.
Yeah. And they don't question, how much does it cost? Like they automatically assume that's got to cost so much more money because it's reusable. It's like, dude, the zipper's $10.
Right.
Refills are $4. Okay, use it one time. Your basic retail cost, but you have a product that didn't fail on you. It has all these safeguards. And we think at some point it's to be like, why are you using a zipper that has a single point of failure in the first place? Mm-hmm. So we want to change that. And in a way, we feel like there is no competition in the sense that we're not competing against another zipper. We're the only zipper that should be used in critical environments. Why wouldn't you want a zipper that doesn't fail, or if it does fail, can be replaced, can be locked, and can be switched out with a self-closing option? So there's no human failure type of aspect.
Yeah, that's what you have to eliminate. Take the lowest common denominator out of it. I mean, on the construction job side, you have everybody from, an owner who, multi millions and what he's managing, to a guy who we're using from a labor finder type of a situation, and they all have to be able to adapt to where it's not a question of depending on the guy or the gal that's walking through it, are they going to close it properly? But what you guys have created is this is take the human element out of it, and I think that's what makes it just so powerful. Why would you use anything else? And at the price point that you guys are selling this at, it really is one of those products that it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Even the magnets, people are like, oh yeah, well the magnet costs more than the zipper. It's like, well, of course it does. Right. But what are you guys paying for magnetic doors on the market? $100 plus. This is $49. I've had at least hospitals that are, especially on the longer projects, say, even if we have to throw it away, the amount of efficiency and safety it creates, they don't care. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying throw it away. Right. But we're not gouging people, even though we have incredible value packed in. And I just see other companies are like, they're charging you, you're not getting any value. Sure. We're if anything, not charging enough.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We're leaving skin on the bone. Everyone can, there's a, benefit for, the landfills, us, the contractors.
Right.
And, people might, and we're going to keep continuing to improve and push. And I think my brother wanted me to show you this.
Our next
I'll give you guys a peek at our next product. But like people go, oh well, how do you clean it? I mean, that's a great question. How do you clean it? Well, the zippers are machine washable. The magnet, we've been using. People have been using Optimum wipes and wiping it down. But we wanted to take away even more of that concern. We want to make a non-porous version. So we did. This is a wipeable, deconnable version made out of a vinyl. And so, easy clean, easy wipe down.
Yeah.
More compact. We put pins in between each of the magnets so the magnets stay in place. It folds easier. And so,
So you're teasing us, but right now your video just froze on our end. So if you wouldn't mind going back through and just showing us, because it literally froze as you were taking it apart and redoing it.
The best time possible.
Yeah,
right?
it's the internet world wants to keep it a secret, I guess.
Yeah,
I know. The vinyl surface essentially just like much easier to decon and wipe down.
Just wipe it down.
And then we have added these pins between the magnets to make it so the magnets stay aligned much easier and don't slip over time. So the longevity of the zipper is going to be better. And then it folds a lot easier. There's hinging points on here. So, and then it just a little bit more compact.
Nice.
And then we look at it as like, okay, well, you could literally have like, even for disaster preparedness or emergencies, it's like you can have, and I understand they have those bigger walls and all that stuff hard walls and that you need to put up. But if you need something to move quick and you have like 15 of these up and ready to go, you can execute this much faster, much cheaper. And you can use in conjunction with those systems. But I just feel like there's no way this shouldn't be a standard.
Yeah. But for some of those other systems, great products, they have their application, but you could be, paying $15,000 for 150 linear feet of a certain wall or certain containment, right? And to your point, maybe you get it in about 3 weeks and it takes you a week to put it up. Where this, $500 and you're ready to kind of contain 10 areas and throw it up and probably less than 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I was looking at like our magnetic 3-pack and it's like, okay, like $149. I'm like, that would be the cost of essentially one prefab door, when now you can make 3
right.
that actually hold negative air pressure and work, and you can customize.
Yeah.
We were kind of a little bit, and we've been hesitant about like releasing some of our stuff. So we're like, okay, the competition's just gonna copy us or this and that. But at this point, we're like, all right, we just got to put it out there, especially with the support of the healthcare industry. We definitely want to go ahead, and I guess you'll be the first people to see this like live, but
demo.
Nice.
Well, not a full demo, but like,
yeah, we'll do the demo next. But
we love when people like were giving us a hard time. But like, oh, what about, they'll just bust our balls about every aspect of the zipper. And it's like, you don't ask for competitors this, but thank you. How do you do this? How do you do that? One was, how do you seal the bottom? And I'm like, no one's ever sealed the bottom of the barrier when they T-cut it. No one's ever solved that. So why are you giving us a hard time about it? We're like, all right, we want to solve that too. Can we have a longer zipper or a shorter zipper or whatever? Okay, that's our next challenge.
Yeah.
So when I was talking about the Lego system, we've actually been hiding a feature in the magnet. There's 2 button snaps at the bottom here.
Yeah.
And the reason we have those there is because we're coming out with these magnetic extensions.
These are 17-inch little segments that snap onto the bottom.
So essentially, they'll just clipped on. You just made it 17 inches longer.
There you go.
The reason that's important is, well, now you can go to the ceiling with it, and we've actually been using it in food facilities where people are driving forklifts through it, where they don't have to get on some ladder, or not just putting 2 tarps over each other. They actually have something where people can pull it open, let a vehicle drive through it, and then put it back together, and it's fully sealed. So now we just it's like now we're in a completely different league again, where it's like, all right, well, there's no self-closing magnetic zipper that can just be extended to any height. Mm-hmm. We've also and the reason we chose buttons is so that you can do this.
Right. Now
You
you
can now
have your floor
rotate
base.
and go perpendicular to the floor, and now you have a self-closing threshold. I mean, and we started realizing we're just racking up these techniques where we're just like, all right, now you can do self-closing this way, and that actually means you can turn the threshold anywhere. It can be above the ground a foot, so you can maintain a water barrier if you want and step through it. You can do it at the floor. And we have some other products.
Or you
coming
can
out.
do like a U shape where if you wanted like a little handoff window, you want to stick your hand through and pass something through the barrier and not have a full opening, you could do that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you can basically get creative within the barrier itself. You can make shapes, nested windows, flaps. So this should open up a bunch of new techniques, and that's why we like engaging with the contractor community, and we just our product is more about empowering what you guys already do even better.
Sure.
Instead of like a lot of times people, they're just like, oh, do it this way. This is the right way to do it. And this and that. It's like, we don't want to come from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And especially from where we came from, when we're like, dude, we're not from this industry, but that doesn't mean we can't add something extremely valuable to it by having these outside perspectives, because we have a really, kind of crazy background and a different perspective we can put on these things. And now that we're actually taking part and engaging with contractors, it's not like, we are getting experience, and we got the experience, most of it, like during a worldwide pandemic.
Just the minor thing there.
So the flexibility of it, right? Like being like providing it to where, you have the flexibility. How do you need to use it? It's kind of, you can use it, making it to where any application you can think of, sure, you can move it here, extend it 17 inches, buy 10 of them, get you to, be able to, overhead door, whatever it is. You're not limited as you are with most of the other options.
I mean, they're being used in like the flaps are being used in commercial settings where they're building they're working on cars. We've even had people at like doing the NASCAR thing saying they have zippers that they want to replace and want to know if it'll hold the air pressure. And it's like, okay, well, we've had people put up the magnets, and I tell them, don't remove the zipper. Just use it in conjunction with your existing zipper so that you can use the function of both the zipper and the magnet. So we've had people doing on gazebos and tents. Yeah. And I'm not trying to market there. We were starting to get pulled in every direction. We're like, we got to focus. This is our total addressable market compared to the other products is just 9 day. Like ours is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different use cases.
People make little doggy doors with their sliding glass patio. I mean, we've done it. Like a cool use case was my neighbor had a sick dog that he had to like urinate all the time. He had like bladder cancer, but had to go in and out, but he didn't want to be awake and watching the dog the whole time. So he wanted a dog door that wasn't a screen with so the AC would go out. So what we did was cut out the screen part, put a vinyl barrier, and put a magnetic strip. Now you got a sliding doggy door that slides into place when you want it, holds in the AC, and the dog can go in and out freely.
Very nice.
There's so many random use cases.
Yeah. That must be hard to kind of focus too. You said you got pulled in every direction.
Yeah, that was the problem. Like, we can't just go to every industry. We gotta, and then that's why we kind of came back to realizing what we're about. And it's like, we make a zipper that's designed for critical environments. And then we're like, okay, where can we add the most benefit, at least, and feel the most proud of? And one of that's honestly healthcare, where we kind of did a lot of our learning. And even if we're outsiders, we had an opportunity to engage with the healthcare community during the pandemic. And I don't know, we enjoy talking with this community, and they've been very good with giving us great feedback and being supportive. So healthcare, and then restoration, that's, my friend's background, and that's where we did a lot of our learning from in the first place. And with the franchise systems, that really helps. Understanding our franchising background with the restoration franchising, that's kind of, we feel good about trying to bring whatever we learn to that element.
Ramu mentioned a minute ago about the water barrier application of it. Is that, or how have you seen that being used? Because you said if we put it about a foot or so, or whatever height that is it possible to create sort of that water? Because obviously we're in Florida, so flooding during hurricanes and whatnot, it does become a concern. So I'm wondering if there is an application where, especially the magnet attaching to a steel frame aluminum door, or is there a, just what have you seen that particular aspect or what application being used for?
Well, the barrier itself, it would just be like how you guys do normal, like the barrier, just instead of the threshold being on the floor, it would just be raised above the ground, whatever, like a foot. And it would just,
like you could attach your, like whatever barrier it is, you guys can attach your product onto it.
Yeah, it would just turn early. So it would just be like a foot above the ground. So now you can step through the barrier a foot if you want to maintain a barrier on the floor.
Right.
Yeah, what I was thinking is it's just an option that it's like, I'm trying to show the diversity of like, hey, we're getting rid of every constraint. We're getting rid of the barrier material, the height requirement, the left and right, every positioning of where you do it. So you essentially can create a water barrier because you're the one that's going to install the opening as you see fit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I'm even looking at like, when people do the C-shaped door, I haven't even done this yet, but I was just like in my head, I'm like, all right, when I have time, why don't we show a technique, and maybe I'm riffing here a little bit, where you have the zipper above the ground, and instead of doing those those C-shaped hatch doors, you could have a zipper that comes straight down, and then have the magnet cut over to the left, so you can have it a combination of magnet and zipper,
right? Where
it's kind of a flap that opens because of the magnetic portion on the bottom,
right?
But you can go up and down with, with the zipper. So
yeah, there's a lot of different combinations. I think it's cool, and you guys continue to innovate based off the feedback you hear. So that's it's always good. You guys said something about. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you mentioned like, the steel frame and all that. You're getting ahead of us, but yeah.
All right.
We're working on that. And it's we're working on it.
Yeah.
We have
awesome.
a bunch of ideas.
Yeah. Cause then, at that point you could attach to your typical grid, right? And then you come down and yeah, very cool. But you guys had said something about possible demo you had, or was that
okay, so I'm gonna let my brother do the install. I'm gonna move the camera and let me know if it goes out of frame too much.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna do an installation of a zipper.
And so you guys have the plastic up there?
Okay. So this is our clear fire-rated barrier panel. Like some of the high-end places, they want a clean-looking work site. Like especially during COVID, those barriers are up forever, and like people didn't like place looking like a construction zone. So that's why we thought it needs to be aesthetically pleasing. People want to be able to see each other. We need light to go through, especially long term. And then peel it off. Okay, so we have this. It's removable. You can have them pre-cut. It's framed with hook and loop. And the thing is, our products work really well on long projects because if a piece of the barrier fails, you can replace that piece. You don't have to replace the entire thing.
Right. And you said it does have a fire rated component to it?
Yeah, NFPA 701 fire rated.
Oh wow.
It's I saw it on the front of the package with the fire rating.
Very cool.
What is it? Was it 1 hour fire rating?
Yeah, I believe it's 1 hour. I'll send you the technical specs. We're still, and we're working on other versions of it to make sure it's exactly for. I know it's variable for different facilities. Higher rating for hospitals, obviously.
Right.
Zipper. All right. So
our first product demo on the podcast. So this is cool.
Okay, so this is the peel and stick mounting strip. I like to go from the bottom of the barrier. So I'm attached here.
And so on one side of that, you've got the sticky component, and then on the other side, it's Velcro. Is that right?
So it's a fuzzy part of the essentially loop. Velcro. Yeah, we're not supposed to say Velcro because that's the brand, but
Yeah. Got it. Got it.
So we call it the mounting strip refill.
So this is the zipper. So you just put it on just like you would a regular zipper.
So now you're attaching that to the piece that's on that vinyl barrier.
And then
So the zipper has the hook side on it, so that'll attach.
I'm gonna open up the zipper and just take
A single blade knife. You don't need that dual thing knife. Let's see.
that's it.
Ready to rock. Very cool.
Come on in.
And then you guys, if you, whatever the need may be that warranted it, can just swap that out for the magnetic piece.
Yeah, so we're going to show you switching from zipper to magnet. But right now, see this? My brother is showing the locking feature of the zipper. So
There's a grommet zipper head. You just stick a zip tie or a cable lock. So that's just a deterrent to keep people out. If there's sometimes there's drying fans going, people just turn them off. All sorts of.
Yeah, that's great.
So
Awesome.
now we'll show you how to switch from the from the zipper to the magnet.
Peel off the zipper.
So here's the little trick on this. So because the mounting strip is pre-cut, you're going to take the magnetic strip, fold it in half on top of itself so the magnets don't compete. And then it's just attached one side at a time. And flop this other side. Go up and over. Yeah, so just lift the other side over and come down.
And voila, that took all of 60 seconds and maybe not even.
Yeah, closes right behind you. Yeah,
So
I really
basically
like that product there.
Yeah,
I like it all, but that's pretty great.
And I'll set this down so you don't get motion sickness, but my brother will also now start setting up 2 more magnets so we can show you the double flap. But essentially, you're going to put one on the left side, one on the right side, so you'll have three magnets.
Mm-hmm.
So you have an ingress and egress flap set up.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I can shift back. I can shift back over there. So
Yeah, we can see it from here. The overall.
while he works, we can. I know my camera work isn't great because I'm literally holding up a laptop like this. So I apologize.
No.
Yeah,
It's good.
we're
It's
getting the
good. We
gist
got a
of it.
good feel of.
But you can see it. You can kind of see it from here. So yeah.
And you guys
But yeah,
have a good social media presence too on YouTube and Instagram and the other channels where I've seen plenty of other examples of you guys with the application. What do you have a favorite project or something that your product was used in? That you guys gave us a couple of examples with the first one here in Orlando Regional, the dental groups in Canada. But is there another one that sticks out?
Being on TV's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, crazy.
What was that?
Being on TV's got to be pretty cool. But I guess
yeah,
you didn't
that
really get
was-
a chance to sell the product. You just got to see your product on TV.
Yeah, we might repost it, and I don't know what the legal issues are with that, but
Hey, it's on TV. So
hey, they used our product without
there
really.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's nuts.
Now let's come to the table, right?
Some of our favorite projects. I mean, it was kind of nice to know that we were using Patterson Air Force Base, and the next thing you know, we're getting an order from Ramstein in Germany and doing theirs, and it's just like, whoa, this is crazy that like our products being ordered overseas. And then Canadian Special Forces ordered our products, so we're starting to get into like, you know, a ton of the VAs. So Indian Health Services, VAs, Army, Navy. But the funny thing is, it's individual locations kind of discovering us, and we're kind of getting a tipping point where everyone's about to discover us, but it's like the ones that are kind of thinking outside the box and understanding and seeing it first, kind of the first wave of adopters.
Yeah.
But the good thing is it's very diverse across multiple industries. And, you know, now we're just trying to focus.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And then we had Turner Construction had a huge project where, you know, they gave us a kind of a video testimonial where the funny thing is I left a kit with the infection prevention specialist. I think it's the Allegheny Healthcare Network. And it was just sitting around for 2 years. So when I sent out the sample, it just sat there and he didn't do anything with it. And then his superintendent from Turner just happened to be around working on a project. And so he goes, hey, I got this sample a while ago. You want to try it out? So I gave it to him. And he goes, yeah, for sure, because I hate the zippers that we're using. We keep replacing them. And he gave him the craziest testimonial about a product saying, I replaced zippers 15 times on a long project, but with the Reusable magnetic, never had to replace it even once.
Yeah.
And they said, you know, they're switching over to our system on all the projects. And the thing is, that's very promising for us. That's one location.
Sure.
And the thing is, you know, it's for us right now. It's just more the marketing, getting the word out. So we get a little bit impatient. We're like, hurry up and, you know. And then you got the distribution channels, and it's like, you know, a lot of times they need to see the value of it. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of times they're selling their own zipper, so it's like competing interests. Like, I'm not talking bad about any of them, but just saying, if you really understood our product, you wouldn't be selling a tool that isn't specified for their job. So if you're selling to restoration healthcare, you shouldn't be like, in my opinion, and of course I'm biased, but you shouldn't be selling some disposable, like a Band-Aid to put on a $60,000 mold job. Like, you shouldn't be advising that in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. Regardless of competitor zippers or your in-house brand zipper. You know.
Agreed.
So what question, where?
We like to compete on our actual, like, just intrinsic value of the product. And yes, we're going to also add the aesthetics and all that. But
yeah, it's really about, you know, the product, what it can do.
Is your product, where do you guys manufacture it?
Right now it's China. I know that's a big the tariff thing's a great for us.
It's going to be a struggle.
Yes. But yeah, if you know that, like, raw materials, like rare earth materials, like magnets, they come from China. We don't have a refining facility in the U.S., and it was outsourced there. So, I mean, we've been told that would take 15 years to bring that infrastructure back.
Ooh.
So, you know, a little bit of an issue we have to get around. And it's kind of funny when people that are, like, not in business tell you, like, why don't you just make it in the U.S.? It's like, if it was that easy, trust me, I would have done that in the first place.
Right. Yeah. Right. All right, let's see. We got an entry and an exit here. Wow.
Yeah.
Or a double or one flap door.
So I could be.
The other stage.
High traffic. And then if you want to, you can do the entire flap out of the way. So it has, like, basically 3 modes of operation. And if you go through the center, it's not going to affect the other two.
Right.
So they're balanced where those don't get. Yeah. So you have 3 options: the center, the flap, and the double flap.
Yeah, and they're strong enough to where each side holds when you're not really deliberately going through it. It's great.
Yeah, and you know, it holds enough air pressure for the requirements for hospitals. I know we've run into some industries where they're like, they're still opening up.
Yeah, it's up to what, like 5 pascals.
over 5. And if they're reaching higher, because I know like some restoration companies go kind of crazy with their negative air pressure, go pretty high. We're not done.
Right.
We're already working on a high powered version.
Awesome.
So higher power. So hoping to hold over, double digit.
Oh, nice.
We just got to make it balanced so it's not like, if it's too strong, someone's pulling on it and it's tearing the barrier off or pulling the pools down. So,
there's got to be a balance there, right? You can't rip the tape off the wall or.
It's too strong, too weak. It's going to.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. No, you guys, this has been awesome. Very cool demo. And thank you for revealing to the world the 2.0 model of the magnet. On the show.
Cool.
What do you guys need help with the most as far as what's your biggest challenge, I guess, that you would need to overcome? Is it, talked a lot about getting the word out. Is that, maybe that's it, or is there something else that we might be able to, or somebody listening to this show might be able to help with?
Yeah, just love to get the word out. If there's distributors that are like-minded, want to help sell products that are more suitable for this industry, we're open to strategic partnerships. I know distribution has always been, well, there's not enough demand, so they don't want to carry it. So I've always been frustrated by this. They get mad at you for selling direct, but if you don't sell direct, then how do you create the demand that they're worried about? So it's just, we're in that phase. It's
we don't want to be suffering, working day and night, trying to push to sell it, run the business plus also sell everything. And it's a lot. If the distributors would take that on, great. We'd love to.
And we do have some great distribution partners now. So, and they're catching and they understand. They understand the strategic value. There's companies that sell negative air machines and they realize, oh wow, we can sell a holistic solution of their magnets with our negative air machine and it's kind of more of a win-win. Our magnets literally open new doors for people. They've gotten us in everywhere with every industry. So, when people look at they're comparing our zipper versus this zipper's margin. I'm like, dude, you're missing the entire big picture. It's who cares about any of that? I'm thinking it's your zipper's going to become obsolete, and then you're going to sell zippers that are made for general dust control, while there is a zipper made for healthcare restoration. But you're going to sit and wait till maybe it's a little late. So we're looking for the people that kind of embrace what's good for the end customer first and kind of see the bigger value.
That's one thing I love about you guys, and this conversation that we had was that you do come from a place of, this is something that you're really passionate about, and it's not about making money for you guys. While it is your business and your baby, but it's still about helping to solve a problem. And really, I think that's awesome that it's more than, you didn't create this just to make a buck, but to solve a need out there.
Thank you for saying that. Because trust me, we were in commercial real estate. We had it easy, and then we literally gave up everything to do this. And it's
gotta take some.
And then now it's okay. Now it's about create. We're just stuck in this. We both want to we have this vision, and we're not going to be satisfied until we execute it, create it. We want to bring this alive, and we know we're onto something big, and we're enjoying the process, or learning to enjoy the process along the way, even though kind of get kicked while you're down sometimes, but
over and over.
Take the lumps, keep moving.
It's part of the game, and hopefully we get through it.
Yeah. You said it earlier, probably not intentionally, but our zippers open new doors, right? There you go.
Yeah.
No
Awesome.
pun intended there.
Yeah, I like to say, old ways don't open new doors, and it's in a way, it's we want to start we call it the reuse revolution. We want this to be more of a movement, and part of it has to do with the technical side of it, but just also encouraging people to be more open-minded and have a beginner's mind when they approach things.
Yeah, it's easy to be okay with.
Not that we're experts in contracting, and I'm the first one to say dude, you guys probably know way more than us, like from the contract, from the field stuff. So we appreciate your guys' experience, and everyone's feedback. I don't care if it's negative, positive, whatever. It's like every single thing we hear, we definitely take it in and use.
Yeah. It's awesome. And there's probably a lot of, not probably, definitely a lot of unnecessary waste on whether it be restoration projects, construction projects, or anything like that. Because typically everything is per project base, right? You pay for it on the project. It's for that project. And then the next one, same thing, right? But if you can reuse that, not only are you kind of contributing to, the reusability from, the standpoint of the environment or whatever it may be, also from the standpoint of monetary perspective, right? You can bullet onto the next project, reuse it 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. So awesome.
Yeah. And just one other thing, the open-mindedness, because I've always said that I thought of myself as an open-minded person. And then I got humbled just earlier this week, or no, it was last week. Was working on a subcontract with one of our vendors, and we were going back and forth about one particular item on there, and that I was just adamant that this has to stay in the contract. Like, we're not pulling it out. And then here I am, Mr. Open-Minded, right? Mm-hmm. And finally the owner calls me. He's like, Dave, we can't do this or how are you going to explain the liability issue of this particular situation? And so I was like, I never had that explained to me like that before. So,
always got to keep an open mind.
Always got to keep an open mind, even when you're just so adamant. The world it so graciously hands you a humble pie to.
The zippers we've used for all this time are perfect.
Well, when it's just a zipper.
I mean, it's a little tough when it's like, I get afraid of being, in a weird way, like overly passionate, overly, like, I don't want to come off as like arrogant, but at the same time, we kind of took a backseat and just let people say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, whatever. And then we're like, all right, maybe I need to be a little bit more forceful, because logically, I know our stuff makes sense 10 times more than what is already in play. But what people are doing now just seems to just perpetuate until you, I think, take a stand and just,
educate,
I got to believe in what we're doing, and we're going to say it. It's like, this is what we make, and this is why, and why it should be used. And I think that if, when you asked about like a win lately, that's kind of what we're coming into the feeling of. Before, instead of asking for like permission, approval, or whatever, not that I don't care, but part of me has like gotten to the point where it's like, I don't anymore. Yeah. Now it's like, we own it. Like, this is it. This is our movement. Like, please join it if you're like-minded. If you're not, like, that's cool. Nothing wrong against the way you're doing it. Right. But at least hear us out, because I think what we have truly just makes inherent sense.
Yeah. Regardless, you're going to educate on the current gaps your guys' product can fill, and kind of the concerns that your guys' product addresses, which I think is good. It's cool.
Yeah. And the feedback, the other side of it, it's like, hey, like, we don't, like, it's like, there's still a lot of stuff that I'd love to learn. I love learning from our clients. I love all the feedback. It would be nice if sometimes, just bash you on social media sometimes. Just like some of the stupidest comments.
Where'd that come from?
I have to hold back and like, all right, well, thank you. That's my business, right? Like, I don't sit there and shit on your business. Like,
well, but that's when you're doing something right, because you're not getting comments like that on the internet.
The word's out at least.
Our social media manager guy goes, who cares if they talk shit? It just increases engagement and views. Like, let them.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So where, as we're kind of getting to the end here, where is it best for folks to find you, find more information, reach out, have a conversation?
Well, you can buy our product directly at reusip.com, reuzip.com. You can email us at info or sales@reusip.com. And we would like to engage with, like, if there's a channel, like your own distributor that you like working with, we're more than open to collaborate. So, put us in touch with your distribution rep, and we'll get them up to speed, and we'll probably be able to share some stuff that's not even, available yet with your distributor.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for coming on and taking the time.
Thanks for having us.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Take care.